Hey there, Linux fan. How you guys doing? Welcome back to our channel. Today we've got a topic that is been highly requested, and it's a guide on how to switch from Windows to Linux. But before we do, hit that thumbs up button, the subscribe button, and that bell icon down there so that way you get notified of every new video that we make. So we're talking about switching from Windows to Linux. Unlike Windows, which is a proprietary system, Linux is open source and completely free. This means you have the freedom to explore, customize, and tweak to your heart's content. Now, most people, when they tweak to their heart's content, they do it by customizing or theming it, although you could come across with many themes already out there that are customized. A lot of distributions already get customized. That brings us to one of the second points there. First, you had to understand the difference between Windows and Linux, which is one's open source and one's proprietary. Now, the second part is the most important part is choosing the right Linux distribution. Each distribution caters to different needs and preferences, whether you're a beginner craving simplicity or somebody who's already been skilled and kind of like a tech guru, if you will, yearning for endless customization options. There's a Linux distro out there that's just for you. You can go to places like distrowatch.com. You could also do Google search, what's the best Linux distribution for me, and type in certain things that you want to do with Linux in order to see if it's one that works for you. So take your time in exploring the distributions. There's ones out there like Ubuntu, Fedora, Linux Mint. There's several others, over 600 more out there that I could think of. Take your time to find one that's the perfect fit for you. Almost never do you find the right one right from the beginning. No, normally it takes you a while to find the one, and you will do a lot of changing, you'll do a lot of growing, you'll do a lot of evolving. Don't be afraid to try multiple distributions. Some people call this distro hopping, other people call this exploring. Either way, those are two terms that you'll hear. The third part that we want to talk about is backing up your data before you make the plunge. Switching from one operating system to another can be a bit daunting, so it's crucial to safeguard your precious data. We're talking like your pictures, your files, your photos, important documents, and anything that's on your computer that you hold dear to yourself if you use your computer in that manner. Trust me, just a little bit of prep work can save you from potential heartache down the road in saying, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to back up those family photos that I had on there that I was editing, or oh my goodness, I just dumped a year's worth of documentation on a book I was writing, or whatever. It could be many things that could happen on there. Back up your data before you make the switch. Don't forget that. A lot of people make that mistake. I've made that mistake. It's something that happens. Now, the next thing that you got to do is you got to create a bootable USB drive. Get ready for some hands-on action here, guys, because this is where you start taking your first real step towards making Linux a reality on your machine. So to install Linux on your computer, you'll need a bootable USB drive. That's basically where you take a thumb drive like this. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Just a generic one like this, right? You take that thumb drive, you're going to use it to install Linux, because back in the old days, you used to use, installation disks. Just like with Windows, you used to do an installation CD. Well, no more do we do those at all. They just don't exist anymore. I don't know if it's because people just don't have hard drives anymore or disk drives in them anymore, but USB drive is the way to do. So grab your trusty USB drive, and then you're going to look for a tool on Windows like either Balena Etcher or Rufus. Balena Etcher is a cross-platform open source USB drive creator, and Rufus. There is another one out there that works on Windows. I think it's called Lily, Lily, but I don't know that one does work as well. So you want to use that to create a bootable drive. Once you booted from it, which is simply as rebooting your machine and hitting enter or F12, enter interrupts the BIOS, and then you'll ask you if, to boot from a device. It's usually to F10 or 11 or 12. Once you do that, then you can actually boot into it into your Windows or into your Linux, and then from there you can take it for a test drive, and there'll probably be an icon somewhere on the desktop environment there to go ahead and click install. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to explore the Linux desktop. Right now, if you look, as you can see right here, all around me here, I have the Linux desktop. I have what you see right there is KDE version. It looks like that, or it could look like this. Then there's also another one called GNOME. It looks like this, or like that. And then, of course, you have one that looks like XFCE, which is a lightweight, minimal desktop that looks just like that. So, to your heart's desire, you can shift and be through any one of these that you see on here. You can find those desktop environments that are completely available to you as a whole out there. Take your time to explore and find out one that actually resonates with you. Trust me, part of the Linux charm is that it has the ability to cater to your unique tastes into how you like your desktop environment to look. You could have them already customized like this, or you can download themes, apply them to them. The downloading of the themes is mainly on KDE. As far as GNOME is concerned, there are some things you could do. It's a little harder to customize, but there are some things you could do. So you can take a look into that. The XFCE, all those, there's tutorials on how to do it. There's some that you download already customized and set up for you. There's like Garuda out there. There's like, Zero Linux. I mean, those are on Arch, but either way, there are already customized desktop environments out there that look really hot out of the box for you guys. So you can definitely take a look at doing that and having fun with that. The next thing we're going to do is navigating the Linux software repository. That is something that needs to be talked about because unlike Windows, where you typically hunt for software online across many different websites that could link you to many sketchy sites that'll cause you a lot of grief because you'll wind up downloading some either bloatware or malware or a virus of some sort that's a legitimate virus for your computer. Linux doesn't have all that. It has a vast software repository just waiting to be discovered. A lot of times it's already baked into the desktop environment through a tool called add or remove software, or a discover, store, which is a software store. And then you've actually got command line tools to help you, like, your package managers to add or remove software. With just a few clicks or commands, if you use the command line or the terminal, you'll unlock a universe of free open source software options right at your fingertips. From productivity tools like LibreOffice to creative things like GIMP or Blender or a host of tools out there. There are lots of alternatives that you'll find for your digital journey using Linux that are very close, comparable alternatives to tools that you may already be familiar with in Windows. I talk about this all the time. Still going to talk about it some more, and we're just going to be doing what we do on as far as like trying to get it out to the masses. It is easy to find a tool. It's as simple as a Google search, or maybe going into a couple of forums for the distribution that you're on and saying, hey, I need this tool. This is what I do. Can somebody help me? So now we just need to do is embrace the command line interface. By the command line interface, I'm talking about terminal. Okay. A lot of people get afraid of terminal, and there's no reason why, because we're about to talk about command lines in a way that you've never seen before. Command lines are simple alternatives to getting things done. Basically, it's how Linux operates. It's the core fundamental. A lot of people don't realize this. When you're clicking in even Windows or Mac, when you're clicking on that terminal or that GUI, that graphical user interface, that is the little this dialog box that has the buttons and stuff in it that gives you, information. You click on the button to make things happen. Well, what you're doing is it's literally a script. You click on the tool, a script or that button, a script runs in the background, and it actually makes a PowerShell command, or in Linux, a terminal command. So basically, you're using the terminal. You just aren't typing anything in. You're just clicking buttons to make it. And when you click that button, it says execute this command. So That's basically what you're doing, is cutting out the middleman, and it creates for a much faster experience, a much cleaner experience, and also it creates for you to, because when you're in the terminal, you will get the error code. Unlike a graphical user interface or a GUI, it won't tell you what went wrong if something hangs up or for whatever reason. Whereas in the terminal, you'll see it right before you, sitting right there. And you're like, oh, I see this is why this happened. You can do a Google search, figure out what's going on if you don't already know what it is, and it's something new. And then it's a new skill that you can get. I mean, embrace this skill, and soon you'll be running your Linux distribution like a total developer guru. I mean, it'll impress you. You know, admittedly, when I first started Linux, I was scared of the terminal too, just like anybody else. But the reality of it is once I started using it, I sat down and I forced myself to use it. I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to copy and remove this file or whatever. As soon as I got proficient into it enough to where I knew what I was doing, I was like, wow, this is great. And then understanding that 9 times out of 10, no, I'll say 10 times out of 10, the terminal is going to give you the error code and reason what went wrong. Why it didn't work. A lot of people don't read it. They just, oh crap, it didn't work, and da da da. Error. All they see is error, and they don't read what it says, and so they just overlook stuff. That is something that you guys need to embrace in Linux. Next, you want to talk about troubleshooting and community support, because guess what? It's all there. So here is a secret to Linux success. The vast and supportive Linux community. That's it. I mean, used to be years, decades of old, actually years of old. Sometimes you run into them, but you don't always run into them. The RTFM guys, which is read manual. There are some that exist out there still, but mostly, all in all, they don't. And so it's a much more positive experience whenever you encounter a hiccup along the way. Rest assured that there are many fellow Linux users out there that are just a few clicks away in different places, from forums to subreddits to dedicated support channels for your distribution. Also, I'm going to throw it out there, man. If you haven't yet join my TLT Discord server, because we have lots of people in there. I'm in there all the time. Lots of people in there helping you out. There's actually a help section, or Ask TLT section, where people post things and you can actually get help. I'm also part of several other servers out there, like the Linux Cast server and also Zany server out there. We all have a strong community in helping people out. So just go to those places, go to those resources for solving problems and exchange knowledge. As you learn and figure stuff out, make a post in there, drop a little wisdom in there, because there may be some people write things in there that I have never heard of before. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. I didn't know that. Or I was like, oh, wait, I know how to fix this for this guy. And I tell him exactly how to do it. I mean, it's great. Do that. Interact with other people. That's the greatest thing about the Linux community that I love best, is we've changed the RTFM to being, yeah, we can help you. Also, we talk about vast different things all the time, and it's a very nice community to be a part of. So just do your research if you have an issue, and don't be afraid to go looking for it, because you'll find what you need. And so there you have it, guys. You're now equipped with the guide on how to make the switch from Windows to Linux. It's basically a transition with a little time and patience, and the rewards are huge. Linux offers you a world of customization, security, control over your digital life. So seize that opportunity. Embrace the penguin. Love Tux, man. And embark on your Linux adventure today, because I guarantee you can't go wrong with it. You're paying the right price for it. You're learning how to use it, which is going to be something that you're going to take with you to your grave, because you can't unlearn it. You're going to endure some hardships with it, but it's just growing pains, and just know that you can do that. So, guys, tell me what you think. Leave a comment down below. Tell me how your Linux transition went. Mine was out of frustration due to a situation I had when I was running a business, and Windows left me high and dry. So tell me how you did. Also, don't forget, please hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the notification bell. Until the next time, man, y'all keep doing what you do. Stay blessed, stay safe, keep on Linux, and above all, I will see you in the very next one.